Folks, come on in. Excuse me. Please come on in. Please come on in. Please come on in. I'm going to try to put a little bit more heat on that microphone. I like my mic hot on this side. There we go. Come on in. There is a generational word. Sage Page, what's up? There's a generational word, especially over the lives of those who feel like you're chosen. Courtney J, what's up? Thanks for all your gifts and giving. My purpose, Ren. Thanks for all of your gifts given. Thank you guys, especially my cash appers. We appreciate that. Sometimes, what's up, Arsons? I got a cash app yesterday. It just said confirmation on a prophetic word. See, those things like that, that means something we did here made your spirit jump. And you don't never want to go nowhere or be nowhere on a continual basis where something don't make your spirit jump. I don't beat people over the head for no cash apps. But when the word is spoken, people go down in that comment and description and they spirit jump and they give. So we appreciate those givers. You just putting a stamp on your own word. Here's the thing about a generational word. Let me tell a story first. I'm gonna talk about my grandma. My grandma is she just turned 90 years old. Just turned 90 years old last week, and I've been, I'm setting my calendar this week to go over there and sit with her for a second, because I got something to show her. My grandmother, just backstory really quickly, my grandfather, who I never met, passed away when my mom was maybe 8 or 9. So my grandma raised 6, 7 kids practically by herself. I say 7 because my mom had me in her late teens, so she partially raised me up too, in my opinion. Sandra, what's up? But Devon, what's up? And I more remember her nurturing side and her disciplinary side in terms of she had very high standards that she set for her kids, and she was very big on certain presentation, and you didn't go out looking crazy and things like that. My grandmother, with those 6, 7 kids, was the first family to move into a particular housing project here in my town. So I say that to say we from the hood, 2 generations. I remember my grandmother being frugal. I always tell people my grandma used to wash out foil. You know you frugal when you wash the foil off. Let's say you had a piece of cake in there and you wrench it off, and she'll fold that foil back up and put it in her drawer, because if she need to wrap something else up, she'll use that old foil. That's just one example. If people was giving away some free food or something, she'll go get that and she'll remix that and have that for us. She used to sit with old people. She bring us them project cans, and it just say potatoes or it just say pears, Come on, man. I'm going somewhere. One day, when we was just regular project living, my cousin was over, and she sat me down and she sat us down. She said, "Y'all, I had a vision. I had a dream last night." She said, "I had a vision that you and your cousin," she talking to me and my cousin, was going to take me on a private jet. Now, mind you, this is a second or third generation lady. Projects. This was the late 80s. So think about the cost associated with things. Think about all of that. In essence, she spoke a word to us at that time was an impossibility. Not only do we not know nobody who done rode in no private jet, at this point, we ain't even got nobody in this family that done flew on a plane. Commercial. Matter of fact, if it's 6 or 7 of us, only one car. Matter of fact, if it's 6 or 7 of us, it's only 2 bedrooms. But she still spoke that word to us sitting there. And I don't remember much about what she said in terms of exactly specific quotes, but I remember that moment, and I always held that moment. She spoke that word to me in my spirit as a child. And so time go on, and I always had it in the back of my head. I got to get rich. I got to take my grandma on a private jet. I always had it in the back of my head. She told me this when I was 5, 6 years old, 7 maybe. So she get to her 75th birthday party, and I don't care if I'm going long. She get to her 75th birthday party, and she everybody going around saying whatever they saying, and everybody saying they good words, and and I, in my spirit, I said, I want to say something. This is my grandma, y'all, who I love. And she said, and I said, she told me we was gonna ride on this private jet, and I just standing up here to say, Grandma, it ain't over. My voice cracking, my hand shaking. I'm like, it ain't over, Grandma. I still believe we gonna ride on that thing. And I sat down and whatever, and I was crying in front of my family and all that. That was at her 75th birthday party. But look at this from the other day. When I was catching that PJ with my people. Before my grandma's 90th birthday. Let me show you. Say, boss man, why you showing this? This ain't the stunt on nobody. But this a word of confirmation that a word that she spoke to me way long ago, she had to wait until she was 90 years old to see her grandson fly that thing and ride that thing like she said. And I told y'all a long time ago about this page. This page is a confirmation page for y'all. For some of y'all, I'm going to go before you. For some of y'all, stuff had to be broken before I could even come on here and talk to you. And people having to see right now that your life is a confirmation If you see me walking, if you see me waving my hand, that's the old church I learned. If you see me waving my hands, that's confirmation. And what people didn't know and what people having to realize, that's right, Sage, is that if you see me in a stage where I'm out of order, that don't mean that the word's still not covering me. And it's people that try to take stuff away from you and break you, not knowing, man, I'm under a generational word. I'm under a generational word. And here's the thing about a generational word. When you under a generational word like this and you called to be a chain breaker and a curse breaker, it could only be you. Look through your family and see who can do it. Look through your timeline and see who can do it. Look through it can only be you. And he's calling us for a time like this. It's getting tough because it's so important. If it wasn't important, it wouldn't get tough. We talk about the story of David and Goliath. And for some of you looking at the characters wrong. See, sometimes a Goliath can be an issue in your life. Sometimes your Goliath is a generational curse. You got to understand. There was a war going on and nobody wanted to stand up in his whole family. There is nobody in your whole family that's willing to stand up against poverty. There's nobody in your whole family that's willing to stand up against divorce. There's nobody in your whole family that's willing to say, okay, yeah, stop right here. You're the only one. And when trials and toils and snares come against you, they come to be a reminder that I'm the only one. Who else could do it? David was the young shepherd, the youngest of Jesse's sons. He wasn't even a soldier. See, this is the thing. You're winning wars. You're winning wars in places you're not trained. You're winning wars in places you're not trained. I'm a farmer, but God calling you to be a business. I'm this, but God calling you to be this. And the difference see, some people, when the call comes up to leave the farm, they say, no, because I don't want to fight the giant. But when the call came to leave the farm and it hit your ears, you was like, you right, Grandma, we is going to fly that plane. I don't know how we going to do it either. But if you feel it, I feel it. That's what it means to be a chosen one. When the call come, you don't hang up the phone. And whatever come with the call, you put that on. Hope I'm helping somebody today. I know I'm talking long and slow, but this is just what we on. We have to teach. And here's how you're going to win. This is what I love about the story. King Saul said, hey, I know you said you're going to go in there, David. We don't want you to go. Do you want my stuff? Do you want my armor? And he say, no, man, I'm going to do this the same way I've been doing all the other stuff I've been doing. I'm going to do it the same way I did it in the field. See, that's why God, some of y'all people say, well, you hood, but you come into the business. He wants you to take that hood tenacity and bring it to the business world. I'm going to use them tools over here. I don't want your tools because your tools then gave the same result. So let me tell you what I learned when the enemy attacked. Let me tell you what I learned when I was in the lion's den. Let me tell you what I learned when I was with the bears and the shepherd let me show you something. Cause in there I learned how to fight. And you thinking, don't you think some of them fights up before Goliath, he thought them was the last fight? You don't think he ever felt like something was going to take him out? But when he got to Goliath, he could reflect. As I look back over my life and think things over, I don't think this too bad. What's wrong? Why y'all acting like that? Because see, here go the thing. It's some people, it's some success you're going to have because you was okay not having. And the people that always had can't understand. But when you didn't, you developed a bone in not having. I hope I'm helping somebody today. We thank you for all of the memberships that's being joined, and we thank you for all the cash apps. I know I went all around the bush and I ain't really landed. But the Goliath in your life ain't necessarily a person. There's a giant, and behind that giant is your generational. See, listen, this event marked the beginning of David's rise to prominence. He gained favor with the king temporarily and the people, eventually becoming Israel's greatest king. When you say you chosen, and I'm trying to unlock the kingdom. I'm trying to unlock the kingdom in people. I'm trying to unlock the queen and the king in you. You saying you the one. Okay, listen to how long he fought, man. My grandma spoke a word 40 years ago, 35 years ago. And here's the thing, it's gonna be words that you speak, you're gonna forget you spoke. By the time the word come to fruition, you might have dementia. Here's the thing. He uses the one that people thought was not going to be used. Even with all the talent people saw you had, even with all the charisma people saw you had, even with all the intelligence people saw you had, they still said, nah, not him. And for some of them, they said you, but so far. But there's a word that's being spoke of kingdom that go beyond what we can see. What we imagining is not enough. In fact, what we're imagining is limiting.